What's up, you guys? Film Fan 0599 here again, and today we're going to review The Second Law by Muse. So, we are continuing along with the Muse reviews. We're almost done, can't even believe it, but here we are, we're almost done with them, and we're going to be talking about today The Second Law. So, The Second Law is a 2012 released album, and this was the 6th studio album from, of course, the band Muse. And, Muse was still in their experimental phase in their careers. Like I said before, they were starting to be a bit experimental with Black Holes and Revelations. Then they took it a step further with The Resistance. If you thought they took it a step further with The Resistance, my God, they just go full-blown experimental with The Second Law. They just... Honestly, I felt like they just did whatever it came to mind for them and just made it into the album. Honestly, because there's a lot going on this thing, and it can be compressing to handle on the first listen, but if you keep on listening to it more and more, I feel like you start to embrace it, to be honest, because that's what happened to me. It's one of the most unique album listenings I've ever had in my life, because I never have heard a rock album quite like this before, honestly, and just the way that they handle things on here is really fantastic. And I've grown such an appreciation for this album, such a love for this album, that, I don't know, I think I probably love this album more than most people do, because The Second Law, to me, is the most underrated album quite possibly ever made. This album does not get enough love. This album should get all the praise in the world, and it really doesn't. There's so much to take in, and there's just so much great, so much fantastic work into this album. There really is. There's so much fantastic stuff on this album, and just the genre mixing on here is amazing. Like, they play around with a lot of stuff on here, from electronics to even dubstep at points, to alternative rock, to hard rock, to even funk at one point. Like, they just go all out with this, and it makes for some of the most unique listens you will ever have listening to a rock album, honestly, because this album is quite fantastic. And honestly, I love every minute of it. I really don't get why people don't really give it as much credit as it really deserves. This album is so amazing. And enough of me just rambling on, and stuff like that. Let's get into why. Let's get into the reasons why I think this album is so underrated, and why I feel like it should get more recognition than, it has right now. So, let's start off first with the production. So, here we go. The production on this album is truly, honestly, really fantastic. I know I've been saying that a lot in these Muse reviews and, crap like that, but honestly, really here, what they are able to accomplish and what they're able to really bring to the table on this album is absolutely fantastic, and the production is no less than fantastic, honestly. Like, the production on here is really amazing. Like I said before, the genre mixing on here is quite amazing, honestly. Like, I really love how they mix around with a lot of things on here. Like, they really just fool around with a lot of genres, from, like I said before, to electronic. Like, they mess around with a lot of electronics on this album. They've implemented electronics into their music before, but here they implemented a lot more than they usually do. We have songs like Madness or Follow Me and stuff like that, implementing into some songs like Save Me and all that. Like, there's some points where they implement some electronics, and I really like that aspect a lot about this album. Like, I like the implements of electronics on here. It really fits a lot with the album. I think with the themes and the stuff that they're going with here is really fantastic. I really like how it's implemented, and mixing around with even dubstep, even at points like the song "Unsustainable," very very dubstep track. Like that's like a straight up dubstep track. And Matt, according to Matt, after the band went to a Skrillex concert, they they wanted to make an experimental dubstep track, and that's what it shows on here. And it's really great. Like, I really like how the dubstep is implemented into it. It really meshes well. Surprisingly meshes well, a lot better than I think anyone would honestly possibly think, to be honest. At least for me, I really like how it's implemented. And all the others, like when they mix it with hard rock even, which I don't think a lot of people talk about. Honestly, it doesn't happen at too many points in this album, but when it goes into hard rock, it's really cool, especially with songs like Supremacy and Liquid State. Supremacy and Liquid State being the two prime examples of that. And just Matt. What else can I say about Matt that I haven't said already in these album reviews? But Matt just does an absolutely fantastic job with his vocals here. His vocal work is really, really phenomenal in my opinion. I love his vocal work here. Like hitting them high notes, especially in stuff like Supremacy and Madness. Just he really does an absolutely great job with his vocals on this album. Like, I really love his vocal work a lot. His guitar work is really great here too. Like stuff like like I mentioned before, Supremacy, the guitar solo in Madness. One of my favorite guitar solos from him, honestly, is in Madness. I love that guitar solo so much. I also like in Survival. I love it how he has the crunch to that with that song. I love the guitar in that song. Like, he really has a nice crunch to it. It's really fantastic. So yeah, his guitar work is really incredible here, and he does a fantastic job with that on this album. Chris Wilson once again brings it all home with his bass work. He is, like I've said many times before, really stands out, amongst the other bandmates, and really, tries, his hardest. I think he really succeeds on all of these albums. Like, I really, think he does a fantastic job here. Some of his best bass work is on this album. Like, I love his bass work on a lot of the songs, especially Liquid State, which we'll get more into later on when I talk about that track. But I really love his bass work on that song. And Dominic Howard's drums are very much improved on here from The Resistance. I think he brings back his game that he had in the previous other albums. Like I said, I like his drumming on The Resistance, but I know he can do a lot better, and he does do a lot better on here and really steps back up his game. I really like that a lot. Some of his best drumming moments on here, like I love his drumming on Supremacy or Survival or Animals. Like, his drumming here is really amazing. I really love, like, how he implements his drumming onto here. He does a really fantastic job with that on this album, and really just brings it all home like he's supposed to, honestly. And I really love that a lot. So yeah, all the band members do an absolutely incredible job on this album, and as usual, just step up their game as they usually do. So yeah. Now, let's get into the tracks, ladies and gentlemen. So, let's talk about that track list, shall we? The track list here is definitely one of my favorite track lists that the band have to offer, to be honest, because the songs here are really amazing. I really love the songs a lot on here. Like, track list here is really fantastic, honestly. Like, I really love, honestly, probably all the songs on this album, to be honest. I really like a lot of the, just the differenceness in a lot of these songs, and a lot of things that they play with is really fantastic. And each song, I feel like, has something to offer that the previous song didn't, and I really like that a lot, honestly. So yeah, to talk about some of the tracks, let's, of course, like I usually do, let's talk about the opening track, because I always love to talk about the opening tracks to albums. And let's talk about the opening track here. And the opening track here is Supremacy. Supremacy really took me, because, like I said before, an opening track to me is your most important track on an album, because you really have to hook the listener in. And Muse, as usual, hooks the listener in immediately with the first track, and Supremacy does that in spades. Once you hear that, once you hear that, you're already intrigued. You're like, what the hell's going on? And you know, they hear the like you just hear that, and it's so amazing. Like the guitar mixing, the bass mixing, the drum mixing on it. Oof, it's amazing. And then when it slows down a bit in the verses, when he starts singing, and you know, it kind of slows down a bit. It's kind of mesmerizing, and a lot of people have compared this to a James Bond theme song. And I could definitely see that, honestly. Like, if you ever want to get Muse to do a James Bond theme song, go for it. Like, I think they would kill it. Like, this song right here shows it that they could probably kill it, to be honest. And, you know, I really love this song a lot. Like I said before, it really just hooks you into the album was to come, honestly. Like, I really love it a lot. It's really fantastic. And, you know, when, you know, he comes to destroy, and, you know, the Superman, I'm not even gonna bother to do it, but when he hits that high note, when he sings Supremacy, and it's amazing, and you just hear the and just all the instruments, the guitar riff is going, oof, it's amazing. And then, you know, you kind of hear just the trumpets going and, you know, crap like that, and it's really amazing. Like, it's such an epic tune. It just really gets you into the mood of the album and really starts you off on a high note and really gets you sucked in of what this album is going to have in store for you. And it's really amazing, honestly. Like, I really love this track a lot. It's definitely one of the ones that grabbed me whenever I first listened to it. And, you know, still remains one of my favorites off of this album, to be honest. Like, I really love this track a lot. It is an amazing, amazing opening track. And, you know, really starts off the album on such a high note, in my opinion. And I love it a ton. Seriously, amazing, amazing opening track, in my opinion. The next track I want to talk about is the song Animals. The song Animals really is, you know, just like with Black Holes and the Resistance, Muse does get political on this album. They do talk about a lot of political things, and this is one of those songs that does do that. This is basically talking about, you know, bloodthirsty capitalists who basically are going to have what they have coming for them, you know, for doing all these wrongs and stuff like that. Pretty much that's what the song is about. I really like the lyrics a lot here, too. And I like the mellowness, kind of just the toned downness of this, you know, for the most part, really. Like, I like how it's kind of soft, you know, you kind of hear these electronics, like this kind of keyboard, like piano, and like these electronics that add to it too. Like, I really like how that's implemented. And, you know, Matt singing these lyrics is really something of a thing of beauty, to be honest. Like, I really love how he sings these lyrics. And, like, just how the instruments implement with each other is really, really amazing, honestly. Like, I love it so much. Like, how it's just executed is really incredible to me. I really like how they do it. Like, it's so amazing. And Dominic's drums on here are really good. Even though they're very subtle, they still have somewhat of a crunch to them, if that makes any sense. You just feel their presence whenever he's, you know, going at it, drumming. Like, you feel the presence with them. And I really love that a lot, honestly, about his drumming on this song. It's very subtle, but it adds so much to the song. And it adds for even more of an atmospheric feel with the song. And it's really amazing. And then when, you know, when it kind of gets into all hard rock mode for a little bit, but then once Matt starts singing the lyrics again, it kind of goes back to somewhat that mellow tone for the most part. And then just towards the end of the song, when, you know, they just go at it, and when they're just going at it, you hear like these crowd of people just like kind of rioting and chanting and stuff like that, and it's really amazing. Like, it's really a way to bring a whole song home, in my opinion. You know, like, if you want to bring the whole thing home, this is how you do it. Like, seriously, they do a really fantastic job of just bringing it full circle into this song. Like, you know, you've been building it up for so long in the throughout the song, and it just brings it all home towards the end. I love it when songs do stuff like that, and definitely this is one of those songs that do it right. And I love that a lot about this song. Animals is a very underrated one. I do think Animals does not get talked about enough. People should talk about this song more. Really phenomenal tune. Well, everybody should talk about this album more, but that's not the point right now. We're here to talk about the song Animals, and they should talk about the song more because it's quite fantastic. So, yeah, Animals, absolutely incredible tune. Next song I want to talk about is Save Me. Save Me is a song that really grabbed my attention the first time I did listen to this album. This is one of the two songs that bassist Chris Wilson-Home both wrote and actually sang on. And Chris Wilson-Home, I think, giving him major props as a vocalist, he really should do more lead vocals. A lot of, even if he doesn't do it for Muse stuff, I would love to see him do some solo stuff maybe. Like just him just doing, vocal stuff. I would love that. He's a fantastic vocalist. Like honestly, I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion to say, but I think he's just as good as a vocalist as Matt is, to be honest. Like he really proves it in these two songs, and just the emotion that he gives in this song, because what the song is basically about, it's about his alcoholism they had at one point in his life. And basically it's about how his family, his wife, his kids, basically anybody that was around him kind of built him up and kind of tried to help him get better throughout the throughout the time and stuff like that. And it's really fantastic and it's really meaningful, and the way he executes that is really great. I really love how he executes that into the song. It's really fantastic. Like, you can feel the pain in his voice when he's singing. Like, he's begging for someone to save him from this, save him from this, like, disaster this hole that he's in. You know what I mean? And I really love that. And, you sense a sense of urgency, like just, wanting to get help, needing someone's help. Like, you know what I mean? And you really get that with him singing this song, and the way that he just portrays that while singing it is really fantastic, and makes it more impactful than it already is. And I really love that a lot, honestly. And he does a great job with his vocal work on here. Like, I really love his vocal work a lot. The lyrics to this song are really great too, and the way that just Chris sings them is really fantastic. I really love how he just executes that. And the instruments are really good too here. Like, they implement the electronics on here too, and the guitar work is really good here too. Like, I really love the like just kind of the subtle guitar, not too hard, but I really like it a lot. It really adds to the song. Same goes with the drumming too. Like, especially when the chorus comes in. When the chorus comes in and like the backing vocals also mesh with Chris's lead vocals, I really like how those mesh with each other. Like, I really like how they mesh together in the chorus, honestly. Like, I think it's executed very well, honestly. Like, I really like how the lead vocals are mixed in with the backup vocals once the chorus hits. It's really awesome, and it gives you such chills while listening to it, to be honest. So, yeah, I really love Save Me a lot. Save Me is a song that I feel like really should get more attention, honestly. Like, great stuff. Like I said, Chris should do more lead vocals, honestly. I would love to see, hell, if, I highly doubt it, but if the new album does have a song where he's singing on it, I'll be all down for it, honestly, because the dude is a fantastic vocalist. I would love to see him do more of that. And if this song didn't prove it enough for me, the next song did, which is Liquid State. The next song I'm going to talk about. This is easily my favorite song off of this entire album. Honestly, this is the only song that rivals with Hysteria as my favorite Muse song. I love this song to death. When I first heard this song, I could not believe what I had listened to. This makes you feel like you're being strapped on to like a high-speeding car, and it's just not letting go. Like, honestly, like, you are just not being let go. You're just going and going and going at such a high speed, and that's exactly what this song is. This song is an adrenaline rush of a song. When that comes in, whoo, holy crap, that bass. That boom, like just that bass, that crunch, that crunch of a bass, that just, just that hardness, that aggressive bass. My God Almighty, like, it's just in your face, like, it's like, listen to me, and it's amazing. Like, I love how just in your face the bass is on this song. Like, it's really incredible. I really love the crunch that it has to it, and just has such an amazing, just in your face vibe with it. It's so fantastic. Like, Chris just goes at it, and then kind of like similar to the last song. This is about his alcoholism, but the only difference is that this song is about how it derails you, how it brings you into such a hole. You know what I mean? Like, and it's really fantastic. And the way that Chris sings these lyrics and just brings that, just that intensity to it is really amazing. I love that. I especially love the lyric of, kick me while I'm down, break me up and steal what's left inside, and fill me up and drown me, or something like that. And it's really amazing. Like, I really love especially how he sings that and brings that aggression to it, honestly. And Matt, and you want to know something? Matt's guitar actually kind of gets hidden for the most part on this track, to be honest. Like, it's really the bass. The bass is what really elevates the song and brings the intensity to this song, and it just adds so much. Like, honestly, if it was just Chris and the bass, like, doing this song, honestly, it would just be just as intense. Because just that bass work really adds a lot to the intensity of this song. And it's just one that you just go, man, this is so awesome. Like, it's such a hard rocking tune, and it's so amazing. Like, there is no song on this album, in my opinion, that quite compares to this one. Like, it's been my favorite. It was my favorite when I first listened to it, and it's been my favorite ever since then. And it honestly, like, just even with the many times I've listened to it, it still has that impact that it did on me, like the first time I heard it, to be honest, because it's just that amazing of a song. And Liquid State is just an epic hard rock tune, and it's absolutely incredible. Like, seriously, I gotta give major props to Chris for this, because this was an amazing tune. Like, I really love this tune a lot. Like, seriously, it's the only song that really competes with Hysteria as my favorite Muse song, to be honest. Like, this song is really phenomenal, and really more people should talk about it. Just like a lot of this album, more people should talk about it, because it's that damn good. So, yeah, Liquid State, phenomenal tune, easily my favorite track off of this album. And the other songs here, too, are really fantastic. Like, Madness is a great kind of pop rock tune. It's really amazing. I like the electronics on that song. It's very mellow, very relaxing for the most part, honestly, too. Like, I feel very relaxed listening to that song. Panic State and Panic Station and Big Freeze are major party tunes, man. You can get the party going with both of those tunes, man. Like, also, the slap of the bass is back for Panic Station, and it's amazing. Like, I love how he goes slapping the bass, Chris, with that song. It's amazing. So, yeah, Panic Station and Big Freeze are major party tunes. Love those songs. Survival is an epic tune about just, surviving, basically being, surviving, basically, whether it be the world or just anything that's around you, to be honest. Like, I really love that song a lot. It's so epic. And the two title tracks, Unsustainable and Isolated System, both great title tracks, in my opinion. I really love those songs a lot. Unsustainable goes hard, okay? Let me just say, Unsustainable, I was listening to this song last night. I'm like, man, this song goes hard. It really does. Once that dubstep beat drops, it's amazing. And you're just going all headbanging and dancing all around, and it's amazing. Like, you just can't help but dance to it. You really can't. And, Isolated System is very different. It's very much more toned down, very much more piano heavy. on that song. It's really amazing. I really love that. It also works very well as a closing track, in my opinion. Really brings the whole album to a fold. I really love that a lot. So overall, The Second Law by Muse is a very underrated and very underappreciated work of art, to be honest. I really love this album a ton. It is an album that I feel like should get a lot more recognition. I feel like a lot of people just kind of wrote this off when it first came out. I think a lot more people should kind of go back to it and kind of, just see what they were kind of missing, to be honest, because I really do feel like a lot of people were like that towards this album, because this album is so amazing. There's so much to offer with this album. There is really a lot to offer with this album, and they just bring it full swinging home with this. And I love this album so much. It's such a phenomenal piece of music, in my opinion, and the band really did offer up some of the best material they really had to offer, in my opinion. And I really quite love this album a ton. Like, seriously, I cannot sing the praises of this album any more than I have already in this review. Seriously, this album is absolutely incredible. I love this album so much. So it's time for my official rating on The Second Law by Muse, and my official rating on The Second Law by Muse is a 5 out of 5. I know some people might be like, oh, really? But I just love this album so much. This is seriously one of the most unique album listening experiences I've ever had in my life. Each time I come back to this album, I find something new with it, and I just love it more and more the more I listen to it. It's just one of those albums. I quite love it a lot, honestly. It's such a phenomenal piece of music, honestly. It really is, and in my opinion, it's probably the most underrated album of all time. It definitely deserves a 5 out of 5, in my opinion. So that's going to do it for The Second Law review. I should have my review for Drones. Man, I can't believe I'm going to be on the last one after this. Whew, oh my. But I should have my review for Drones out sooner or later, definitely before the newest album's release. So, yeah, but I leave the question now to you. What did you think of The Second Law? And what's your favorite track off of the album? Please leave in the comment section below. I'm Film Fan 0599, and we will see you about later. Peace.